Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try to be as excited as I can be at 6:39 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I thought I would wake up and make this video. So this is going to be another video in the series of videos I'm doing on games I'm looking forward to playing in 2022. This game is not out yet. This is for Diablo Immortal for mobile. So many players are hyped for that are aware of this game coming out. But I really want to talk about this article that they put out, you know, over a year ago now, and it talks about their free-to-play approach and their values. And this is incredibly important. The points that they touch on in this article I don't think I've seen in any other mobile game. Now, we know how mobile games work. They call them free to play, but it's really just pay to play, and it's so much excessive spending in mobile games. And when I read through this article initially, it really piqued my interest on this game. Got to be honest, I love Diablo, but like a lot of Diablo fans, I'm like, is this going to be, you know, a rehash of Diablo 3 that we've already played on consoles and PC for several years? I want to say it's at least 5 years old, and they're making Diablo 4 right now. But it's not. It's actually taking place, I believe, between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, and so this is a brand new game, and so that's incredibly exciting. But I'm going to go ahead and read through this. It's going to be really wordy. You can run it in your background and listen to it, but I honestly think you should either read this article or listen to what I'm about to read to you. So, our approach and values. We know one of the outstanding questions about the game is what is the business model for Diablo Immortal? Getting this right for players is important to our team. And today we want to share how we're coming at this for Immortal, what it is, the values behind it, and how it works in practice. Before we dig in, we'll be referencing several in-game systems in this blog, so we highly recommend checking out our gameplay blogs first. Understanding how these systems work is useful to keep in mind as you read on. So if you're in the minority and haven't seen any of the gameplay videos, I would suggest you go and checking that out first. Diablo Immortal will be free to play with optional in-app purchases. We plan on supporting Diablo Immortal with a constant cadence of free content, including new gear, features, classes, stories, and areas to explore. We also want to make sure every purchase feels fair and is guided by a clear set of values that places an emphasis on the player experience for all players. First and foremost, of these values is gameplay first. Core mechanics are designed to be fun first, and purchases should never circumvent Diablo's core gameplay. That is a really big point they're making right there. You know, I won't say a specific game, but everyone can kind of know what I'm talking about. Is feeling like you can take any kind of game in this class, an MMORPG, and feel like spenders definitely get ahead. Now, do I think spenders are going to get ahead in PvP in Diablo? Yes. I think that's very much the case with all of these mobile games. However, what we've been seeing as well is that players are getting left behind in PvE because of spending. And so this is one thing that I'm really curious because it's a little leaving us in the gray specifically what they mean. Killing demons and getting gear. There should never there are there should always also be a pathway to earn most things you can pay for. And critically important is that the only way to acquire gear is by playing the game. Second, we want to provide purchase options that feel worthwhile and deepen your engagement and enjoyment of the game, and where possible, the enjoyment of other players as well. Purchases should not detract from your gameplay experience. I think a lot of us can talk about this for at length. Personally, I'm very big on not gambling in video games. I want to know what I'm getting and I want to get it. And I've played multiple games, a lot of games, where it's that lottery system, that gambling system, where you have a chance and you never really get it because the RNG is so bad. And that's really what I want to get away from. I have been playing a lot of platform and PC games specifically because I have just been spending gouges of money on stuff and not really getting what I want. And that is really detracting me from playing those games. So I'm just like, I'll put this one to the side because I know mobile games. I know that eventually the players are going to get upset and they're going to stop the engagement. And one thing a lot of people should know what game developers do is when they look at the analytics behind the game, they look about, how much are they selling? They look at, but not only that, they also look at the content adaptation rates. How many players out of our player base are actually getting in and playing this content? And that's why I'm a big advocate for it. If you don't like content, show the developer you don't like that content by not playing it. The worst thing you can do is play a content mode because it gives you a trickling amount of rewards for those rewards. That is absolutely the worst thing you can do, but that's what every single mobile player does because they play free to play and they always think, well, it's better than nothing. But it's not. It's not better than nothing because you're just shooting yourself in the foot because you really want to send a message to the developer and that's really the best message you can send is to show them, I don't like this, or we as a whole don't like this. We're not playing this until you fix it, or until you fix something else, or until you bring this up to par. That is probably the best thing you can do when it comes to mobile gaming, to send that message to them. Third, purchases should feel like a bonus and entirely optional to enjoying Immortal. The core Diablo Immortal game experience will always be free, and you should be able to enjoy the game for hours on end, whether or not you choose to spend. Like, right now, they're just telling us everything we want to hear. I really want to see this follow through into the game. What you can buy, a few examples. A good example of how these values at work are crests used with Elder Rifts. Players can run Elder Rifts to their heart's content, and crests can be earned or purchased, providing both personal and social benefits. Using crests spice up the experience by adding random modifiers that enhance gameplay, making a rift either easier or more challenging. Using a crest guarantees certain non-gear rewards such as runes and legendary gems. Crests also provide rift points when used by at least one member of the party, and all players in their group will be rewarded with rift points even if they do not use their own crest. Accumulated rift points can then be used to acquire items such as legendary gems. So a lot of that, since we don't know the gameplay, doesn't make a lot of sense, but I will take out of that paragraph what I think is actually a really good thing. That player party. So only one player either has to earn or buy that item so that everyone else can enjoy. That's rare. Because so many times we've seen it where everyone has to spend. Everyone has to burn their items. Everyone has to do that. So the fact that only one player out of the party has to do that, that's pretty neat. Another example is Reforging. Reforging item properties requires special consumable materials that can be earned through gameplay or purchased. Players can earn reforged stones for extra rerolls on an item property or purchase specialized reforged stones which allow you to focus on the item properties you want most. Okay, so we're talking, it sounds like we're talking about gear and we're talking about rerolls on there. And the properties are probably going to be the stats of that gear. So that's actually pretty cool. Immortal also has a battle pass progression system that allows players to earn rewards by completing seasonal quests and other in-game activities. The battle pass has both free and paid tracks. All players can claim rewards such as reforged stones and crests through the free track, while players with the paid track will have access to exclusive cosmetics and even more rewards. This is a big one. Exclusive cosmetics. They're not saying gear. Cosmetics are not going to get you ahead. I'm a big fan of cosmetics. I just love my character to look very different than everyone else. I don't want it to look like everyone else, and I like to look cool. Um, that's just a really big thing, and that's a big MMORPG thing as well. Is that customization? So with the pay track having those exclusive cosmetics, it's not really saying that they're getting that much ahead of free to play players in skill or ability wise. This right here is big and why I really want to talk about this. The market. Before we get into details, let's be clear. This is not the Diablo 3 real money auction house. Player exchange has always been a part of Diablo's history, and we've learned many lessons, both good and bad, along the way. In Diablo Immortal, we want players to have the ability to participate in a fair, healthy, player-driven economy that doesn't circumvent gameplay. The market connects anonymous buyers and sellers with no ability to cash out. There are limits to what can and cannot be put on the market, while it will be a possible source of certain materials, supplementary items, and legendary gems. It is not a place to acquire gear. It is also a way for all players, including those who choose to never make an in-game purchase, to exchange items they find for additional in-game currency beyond what they're able to earn through play. That's big. This is a really huge piece to their monetization, or lack thereof, I should say. A player-to-player economy. This is something we have been fighting for in so many different mobile games, and they refuse to do it. It's very common in PC and console MMORPG games. For example, I play Star Trek Online. There is a huge store in there for players only. You actually would sell whatever items or gear or ships you have and get a certain currency, and then you use that currency to buy from the market. And, well, actually, let me take that back. You actually have to sell it for that currency to another player. And so that player would pick it up, you get the currency, and you can buy from the market. And I would assume that this is going to work the same way. They're not selling gear, so that part is their monetization. I will say in PC stuff, at least in Star Trek Online, almost everything that I bought that was like, a new ship of the month, I could throw in there and I could sell it pretty easily in that market, in that store. And so it looks like they're not allowing that. But a lot of supplementary items are going to definitely be like items you need to sustain your gameplay, to upgrade your gear, to do those sorts of things. And so I think that this is going to be a huge driving factor for this game. Currencies in Diablo Immortal. There are 3 primary currencies types in Diablo Immortal, earnable through gameplay and paid. Below is a brief overview of these currencies, how they are obtained, and examples of what they're used for. Gold drops from enemies, chests, and other lootables in the world of Sanctuary. It cannot be purchased or traded and must be earned through gameplay. Gold can be used for things like upgrading your items and purchasing randomized gear from NPC vendors. Platinum. Platinum can be earned through daily gameplay activities or purchased with real money. Players can also obtain platinum by selling items via the market. Platinum is used for activities such as exchanging goods on the market or crafting charms. So that sounds like that is the player-to-player market currency. Eternal orbs are acquired with real money only and can be used for purchasing platinum, as well as other items as the battle pass, specialized reforged stones, crests, and cosmetics. Through technical alpha and beyond. Our focus for the technical alpha is on gameplay and making sure Immortal is fun. The technical alpha will not have any real money transactions, though we may provide some in-game currency to test out these systems. That said, we'll continue to refine our approach, always leading with our values, putting gameplay first, providing worthwhile options, and designing them as a bonus. Our goal is to ensure that it feels right for Diablo Immortal and its players. We're looking forward to feedback throughout the technical alpha, and we can't wait until we can all see you in Sanctuary. So that's a pretty big thing to do in mobile right now. And to give you guys a little bit of background to this, because everyone is probably thinking this sounds too great. And it probably does sound that way because when they first announced Diablo Immortal, I think it was at BlizzCon, the players did not respond well to it. That's why they shelved this game for as long as they have. They've been trying to get it right. The players were not happy. And so Blizzard, being who they are, especially for how much they're under fire right now because of their situation, they are definitely working hard to get this game right. We're expecting a release date first half of 2022, so that could be anywhere between January and June. So I would expect that, sometime coming up soon. I'm definitely going to go for this game. There's like 20 people in the Discord also going for this game. So definitely join our Discord, get on board. Apparently the clans in Diablo are going to have like 100 people in them or so, which is just massive. I've never seen a clan that high. But let me know what you guys think. Post your comments down below. Hit that like and that subscribe button for more videos, and I will talk to you guys later.